Hello, friends. Welcome to another Stamp With Me Tuesday. Tonight, we are going to do a one-sheet wonder.
This is so cool. I think you're going to love
it.
We're
going to take one piece of 6x6 pattern paper. We're going to cut it up and then turn it into 4 super quick and easy cards. It's so much fun and it's so easy. So we're gonna make 4 cards tonight. If you are here and you are stamping along with me tonight, or I should just say, if you're here, leave me a note in the comments. Let me know if you are stamping along with me tonight, or if you're just gonna watch and see how it's done, and then make your cards later, which is fun. It's all good, whichever way you want to go. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm Heidi with Onigo Stamping, and I'm going to help you reconnect with your inner artist by using stamps, ink, and paper to make beautiful handmade cards and gifts. I hope that you will hit that subscribe button so that you will always know when I go live or when I have a video or anything. All right, I'm going to go ahead and make my workspace look just a little bit bigger. Hello, Kathy and Bonnie and Sherry. Welcome. So glad you guys are here. All right, here is the stamp that I'm going to use tonight, and it has all these really fabulous greetings. But I wanted to show it to you because it is just one stamp. So this is going to be really exciting when I get to this part. And it has one die. So it's really cool. You're getting lots of echo. Oh, you know what? Oops. I totally messed up and forgot to turn off my echo. I forgot to put on my anti-echo machines. Let's fix it. All right, hopefully that's better. Let me know if that is better. You can hear me, and if the echo has gone away. It drives me nuts when I forget to turn off the echo machine. So, all right. So we're going to use the More Messages stamp set and the More Messages dies that go with it. All right. I'm going to set this aside and show you the paper that I'm going to use. Sherry, is it still echoing? Carol says it's better. So hopefully it's better. Okay, the echo's gone. Thank you, Ellen. All right. So the paper that I am using tonight is, I forget the name of it. It's Florals in Blue. All right. So this is the Florals in Blue, and it is absolutely gorgeous. It has these flowers on one side. Look at that. So there's those flowers. There's purpley flowers, and then big pinky flowers, and some, I think these are Hyacinthia. All right. And then we have some, I don't know, tulipy looking things. I don't know what they are. They're not really tulips. I don't know. They're blue and orange flowers. And this one I love with the reds and the oranges and yellows. So pretty. And then on the back, we get these gorgeous patterns as well. So this is going to work perfect for this one sheet wonder tonight. Isn't that pretty? Now, this is part of a giant new mega suite that is coming in the new catalog. And I want to pull out, I'm not going to use them tonight, but I just want to show you the 2 stamp sets that come with this suite. And it has coordinating dies as well. It is so pretty, isn't it, Kristen? So these are the 2 stamp sets that are going to come with it as part of the mega suite. Of course, you can get them separately or you can get it all together. But it's the pretty florals, which have all these floral images. And then the sweet blooms that have sentiments that say things like, have a lovely day, or it's a lovely day, or bloom where you're planted, or let joy bloom. So you can kind of mix and match those sentiments. Really fun. And I'm telling you this, I'm showing you this because we are going to be using these stamp sets for the Summer Creative Escape coming in June. And it's going to be awesome. It's going to be so awesome. We're going to make 10 different projects. I'm doing this with my friend Melissa. It's all day on a Saturday, but if you can't come that day, it's okay because it's all YouTube lives that are unlisted. So only you can see them. Only if you're registered can you see them. And so you can watch them later. So if you can't make it on June 14th, I believe is the date. If you can't make it on that day, you can always watch them later. There's going to be a Facebook group. We're going to have some games and some challenges and some really fun things going on. It's going to be a great one-day retreat, 10 projects between the 2 of us. And registration is open, and it's going to be open for another week or 2. But the early bird pricing ends tomorrow. So if you want that early bird pricing, you want to jump over and get registered for the Summer Creative Escape. And I'm going to put the website up here. So you can go to bit.ly and then Creative Escape 1, and you do have to have a capital C and a capital E or it won't work. All right. Enough about all that. Let's talk. I'll leave that up there for a minute, though, if you need to write it down. So let's talk about tonight's one sheet wonder. Here is kind of a sketch of what I am going to do. So this is 6 by 6, which I cut this piece 6 by 6. And we are going to cut at 4 inches. Then we're going to cut at 5.5 inches, 2 3/4, and then 1 inch here, 3 inches here. And then this is 3 1/4. And this is the teeny tiny little bit that we're not going to use. So it's going to be amazing. We're going to jump in. We're going to jump in and do it. All right. So I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to set this over here, and I'm going to grab my piece of paper, my piece of that beautiful paper, and my paper trimmer. And I'm going to put it on this side because this does have an up and down, and you can do this with a directional pattern as long as only one side is directional. If both sides are directional, which usually they aren't, but if both sides are directional, it might not work very well. But you can do it with a directional paper. So I'm going to show you with a directional paper like this one. Here it is up, and I'm going to turn it this way, sideways. I'm going to cut at 4 inches. All right, so my first cut right here is at 4 inches. I'm going to back up a little bit so I can mostly get this in. So we're going to cut that at 4 inches. All right, take this piece, just set it aside for a minute, and then turn this back so it's upright, and we're going to cut it at 5.5 inches. Okay, so we're going to cut off this little piece. You can set that one aside for a minute. Then we're going to cut this in half at 2 3/4 inches. All right. So now that are 4 inches by 2 3/4, we're going to set one of them aside for card A, and then I'm going to take this one and I diagonally, and it does not matter how you cut it. So I'm just going to put it in there and cut. All right. And this is B and C. I'm going to flip this one over. We're going to use the back side. So this can be card B and C. Let's bring in this little tiny itty bitty one. Okay. This we're going to cut at 3 1/4. So I'm just giving that a little trim. Okay. And this goes with card A. So we'll put that with card A. And then we're left with our pieces for card D. And I'm going to start by cutting this at 3 inches. And then I'm going to cut this in half at 1 inch. So I just turned it, and I'm going to cut it at 1 inch. I want to kind of keep these papers together because I'm going to try to put these two right like that, like they're on top of each other. So I'm going to set those aside together. And then I'm going to turn this one sideways again. I'm going to cut this at 1 inch. And that's all of our cutting. Okay. And I'll set these aside. And that is for card D. So on my desk right now, I have my pieces. I have card A, B, C, and then card D. All right, so those are all cut, and I have them where they go. Now, you should have some pieces of cardstock, and I chose some Granny Apple Green cardstock. I have 3 pieces that are 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. So these are going to go with card A. And I'm just going to move this over. Card A and card B. And then card C. And then you have one piece that's just a little bit bigger. This one is 3 1/8 by 4 3/8. And this is going to be for card D. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this aside. Actually, let's just start with gluing this one. So I'm going to set the other 3 aside. And I'm going to glue this one first. So I have my pieces lined up, okay, and we're going to glue them kind of stacked like that. But I'm going to take this one in the center, and I'm going to, well, not the center, the top center one. I'm going to flip it over like that. So that one's going to go backwards, just to kind of mix things up a little bit. And then I can take this and we'll glue these all on. So here's this one, and they're going to go really close to the bottom, not all the way to the bottom, but they're going to leave just a little tiny, like 1/8, 1/16 inch border on the 2 sides and the bottom. And I'm going to glue 2 at the bottom, and then I'm going to start down from the top. Just want to make sure that I get these 2 together because I like the way it looks when the pattern lines up with just a little hair in between them. So you can see there's just a little tiny hair of a smidge of a spot in there. And then I'm going to glue this one at the top. Now you might want to lay these out on your cardstock first. Make sure you kind of get how they fit. I've made a few of these, so I know how much they're going to fit pretty much. Okay, so then I have that, and then we're going to come in here and we're going to glue this one. Oh, I kind of wish I had put this piece up here. Oh well. The pattern's a little bit better, but that's okay. All right. So this will go right in here. And if that one doesn't have the same border, it's okay because it's kind of the one that's different anyway. So if it pops a little bit more, that's okay. So there we go. This is going to be for card D. I'm just going to set this aside. And now I'm going to pull in cards B and C. And let's see, do I want it? Yeah, I want it this way. Okay. So we're going to adhere these. And I'm doing one on one side and one on the other side, just to kind of make the cards a little bit different. You could choose to do them the same way. It's kind of, choose your own adventure here, right? So I'm putting this one on this way. And then this one I'm going to put on this way. Hello, Susan and Debbie. Welcome, welcome. So glad y'all are here. All right. So this goes up here. Right like this. So cool. So those are cards B and C. And we'll just set those aside. And I'm going to glue part of card. I'm going to go ahead and just glue this. This is card A. And I'm going to adhere this piece. It gets a nice big piece. And you could do either side. I'm going to go with the florals though. So I love this piece of floral. So there we go. And now I'm going to save this piece. This piece is going to go on here too, but I'm going to glue that in just a minute. Let's pull in our card bases. So here's my card bases. I'm using Summer Splash for my card bases. These are all 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Isn't that a pretty DSP, Paula? Yes, it is. All right. We're going to adhere this card A to the front. And you really don't even have to remember which one's A, B, and C anymore. It just matters to get the right pieces of the designer series paper in the right spots. We're pretty much done with that. So this is just going to go right in the center. Just like that. And then I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to adhere it. I'm going to adhere it right here. Kind of towards the top-ish. So just like that. Super cute. All right, and then we'll glue the other ones, and then it's gonna be time to do the sentiments for this, because look at how much we've already done. Like, it's so quick and easy. These make super, super simple cards. So if you need to make a bunch of cards for something, this is a great way to do it. All right. I'm not even gonna put the cap on. We're just gonna set it aside. Do you always put the cap back on your glue? I get mad at myself sometimes. I'm like, why did I put the cap back on that? I'm going to use it again in 2 seconds. So I spend a lot of time like screwing and unscrewing the glue cap when it's like, I'm going to use this immediately. It can sit without a cap for a minute. All right. So I'm going to add this one. Love these colors. It's so bright. It's so bright and springy. It was like spring here today for like half the day. And then it got really windy. And it was 75 degrees out earlier today. And tonight we have a freeze warning. So, but I am ready for spring. And this looks like my grass right now. Really green. All right. So now I have all those, and all I have to do is make the sentiments. We'll add the sentiments, and we'll have 4 cards. So let's make those sentiments. So again, I'm going to pull out my More Messages. So this is the More Messages. It is one giant stamp. And I'm just going to take it out of that. Okay, so it's a giant stamp. One big stamp. And you don't cut this apart. You just leave it just like this. I'm going to use some Summer Splash. And I'm just going to ink up this whole thing. And You know, I try not to get on the edges, but I did this last time and it ends up being okay. It gets a little on the edges. So I just inked up that whole thing. When I'm using a big stamp like this, I like to do it upside down. So grab, I hope this is big enough. All right. So this is just going to go. I don't think it's big enough. Let's use this one. This one's bigger. Okay. Here we go. So this is just going to go right over top. Ooh. Set it down. Try not to move it. I'm going to put a piece of cardstock on the top. And I'm just, or not a piece of cardstock, a piece of scrap paper on the top. And I'm just going to rub it and get all that ink on my piece of cardstock. All right. Hopefully this went well. Let's see. Oh, it's so pretty. Look at all those. And I think this is okay. I think these will cut off. It's going to be fine. So there's all of our sentiments. If not, we'll redo it. And then I have the die. I'll show you the die that goes with this. This is just so cool and perfect for these. All right, so here's the die. It's one big giant die. No, you don't cut this apart either. It just stays like that. And what we're going to do is this is going to go right on here like this, and we'll run this through, and it's going to make me all of these sentiments. Oh, I did get a little bit. You know what? I'm going to try this again and do better. I'm going to do better. So let's clean up my stamp. I'm going to use a clear white because I just want to get the edges, and then I'll have it to do the edges after I ink it because I want it to be pretty. All right. So I'm just getting some of this back stamping ink off of here. Try not to get it on my fingers. All right. Let's try it again. So we'll ink this up with my Summer Splash. Inkity ink. Oh, I did so much better. All right, so I have a little bit of ink over here on the side, and I'm just going to take my little, I'm just going to wipe it off. I think there's a little bit over here too. Now you could trim up these sides just a little bit if you wanted to, but this works as well. All right. And then I'm going to take my piece that I already used. I'm going to drop it on there, and we're going to do the same thing. Sometimes you just got to try twice. Hopefully the second time comes out better and I don't have to do a third time. Because then I'm going to have to find a different piece of cardstock. Papers only have 2 sides, not 3. All right, let's see how we did. Oh, that's a lot better. Look at that. It kind of shows through from where I stamped before, but I think it'll be okay. So, Tamara, this is called the More Messages Stamp Set and Die. All right, so now we'll put this on here, and we're going to cut this whole thing out in one big fell swoop. I'm going to grab my cutting plates. And it is a little bit hard to get started because it's so big. All right. So you just want to kind of make sure that everything is lined up and centered and all that kind of good stuff. And then you can take this, take a sticky note, put it on there so it stays stuck. And I'm going to put the second plate, my other number 3 plate on top. Actually, you know what? I'm going to try to turn this just a little bit so it's at an angle. And then we'll run this through my cut and emboss machine. All of the things on my shelf are falling over. All right, so I ran that through my cut and emboss machine over here. And now we have a whole bunch of sentiments. Look at this. So much fun. Look at all those sentiments. So there's tons and tons of them. Isn't that cool? So you can like make a bunch of these, have them around. Let's go ahead and pick out the ones we want for our cards. So let's look at this one. I feel like maybe happy birthday. Oh, that's cute. So happy birthday. All right. This is not like, here, let's turn it this way. Maybe this will work better. All right. So there's happy birthday. This one, I want to turn this one this way. Let's go with You're the absolute best on there. This might have been when I did this. Choosing the same ones. I don't know. All right. And then this one, maybe Forever Friends. Oh, that's cute. So we'll add the Forever Friends there. And then this one, let's see. Time to Celebrate. Oh, that's kind of cute. Maybe Always Here For You. I don't know. You can do anything. Let's see what kind of. Let's go with. Let's go with the You Can Do Anything. That's cute. That's cute, right? We could do. Nah, that's too small. All right. I'll quit kibitzing. All right. So I picked out some sentiments there. I don't know. What do you think? What are you guys thinking about this stamp? Is it fun or not fun? Let me show you what I'm going to do with all the extras. I already have some in here from when I made cards before, and I'm just going to keep my extras in here. This way, you know, I could, like, I want to make a card. I could just open this up and I might have the sentiment already stamped, ready to go. You could make a bunch of these like in black and then they'd be ready to go. So easy. So fun. All right, let's adhere these. I'm going to put these on with some Stampin' Dimensionals, of course. And then we'll add some bling to it too. And of course, I have 3 more sets of these to show you. So, isn't that fun, Tamara? Yes. All right, there we go. There's that one. Let's do our Forever Friends. I don't like the way it's kind of showing through that I messed up on the back, but we're just going to go with it. Sometimes that's life. That ink pad was really juicy. Yes, it does make stuff it does make things easy when you have stuff stamped and ready to go. That is very, very true. All right, and then we'll do the You're the Absolute Best. And of course I have ink on my fingers. So there we go. And I'm just gonna, you could put this in the center or something. I think I'm gonna put it over here. Like that. And then we'll do my happy birthday. I think I have to get minis for the happy birthday. So put a few minis on here. Pull these off as well. Pop this on. So cute. So, so cute. Bonsoir, Einika. Welcome, welcome. All right, let's find some bling. You know what I think I want to use? I'm going to use these. What is a good set for the wedding card? There's a classic car one that I really like. There's also like a big cake one that's out. They're both online, and I can't remember the names of them. I'm trying to look on my shelf. And of course, I can't see them. Classic Wedding. So that has like the back of a car. That's really cute. And then Cake Celebrations. I like both of those for weddings. Or any floral set. It's going to be gorgeous. All right. It depends like what kind of wedding card you want to make. So these are the new hexagons. They're called Shade of Green hexagons. They are supposed to be for the Turtly Awesome suite, but I just think they're pretty, and that's what I'm going to use. I'm just using them. All right. So I'm going to add these in here, and they're in like 4 different colors. And they're kind of see-through, so they do kind of show through underneath. There we go. Super pretty. All right, let's do this one. I'm going to do green ones on this one. Just to kind of sparkle. Sparkle. So there we go. There's that one. Super cute. Let's do this one. Let's see. Maybe we'll do green again. I like the green. That one down there. And this one. And then one at the top. And I think I'm going to do clear on the next one. So there we go. Woo, so pretty. You don't like the turtles, but the accents are amazing. The accents are so pretty. All right, so I'm just going to add on these. These are kind of clear, but I don't know, they're kind of fun. All right, so there we go. We have some extra little bonus accents on there. And there's our 4 cards. Isn't that fun? 25 minutes. I made 4 cards and I did a whole bunch of talking. So really quick and easy. Let me show you my other packs, my other sets of these that I made. So I have 3 other sets. I did do another set, I guess with the same exact supplies. Kind of. So this is with the same paper, the Florals in Bloom paper. So we can see, I just use different colors. So this is Cloud Cover and Secret Sea. I think that's really pretty. I like that one. So, and then you can see I use some of the same sentiments here, not even meaning to. But I always need more birthday cards, right? So there we go. So pretty. Those are fun too. And I didn't even put bling on those. All right. And then I did some with the, all right, so this is Florals in Bloom. And then Bloom Impressions, Floral Impressions. They have like nearly the same name. It's ridiculous. It kind of drives me nuts. But anyway, and they're very similar. But these I did in Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink. And for these, I used the, I think they're called More Greetings Mix and Match. It's these punch out sheets, which was perfect because I didn't even have to stamp. These were no stamping cards. So isn't that pretty? So cute. And then there's a Get Well Soon card. And I used the Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink gems on these. And we have one Sending Sunshine. And then the sympathy card. So really quick and easy. All right. I did want to like zhuzh it up just a little bit. Make it just a little bit fancier. So this set, I did make just a tiny bit fancier. This one, I used the Gallery Blooms, Gallery something. I think it's Gallery Blooms. And what I did is I cut another piece of cardstock that is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I embossed it with the new Damask embossing folder. And just put that back there. And I think it just like elevates it. Like if you're thinking it's kind of bland, this is all you need to do just to pop it up a little bit. Now this one, I use the stamp set that goes with the paper, and it is the Gallery Motifs. I think it's the Gallery Motifs. Sorry, I have a crick in my neck. So when I keep trying to like look over at my shelf, I like having to really turn myself around. Anyway, and this one I punched with one of the punches that does edges. I think it's like Happy Edge. I don't know what it's called. But it punched the edges for me. And I punched this one out with another one. And again, this is Cloud Cover in Secret Sea. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. And we have a very simple one. I feel like this one is very almost masculine. And I use the in color dots on all of these. So I use the Secret Sea ones on those, which I think are really pretty because they shimmer and shine and they're dark. And then of course the last one with the to the point punch, which is like a wedding card. This is, I think, makes a beautiful wedding card too. Wishing you love and happiness that lasts a lifetime. So pretty. So those are my cards tonight, which these were just so much fun to make. Now I will be sending out the free project sheet for this that has the cutting diagram and all the measurements and everything. That's going to be going out in my email tomorrow, or you can pop over to my website and get it off my website as well. And all of the supply lists are over on my website. All that kind of good stuff is over there for you too. All the info you need to make these. And I'm going to go post a picture of one of these sets of cards over on my Facebook page. And I hope that you will come over there. And if you make cards using this One Sheet Wonder, I hope you'll come and put a picture of them on that post so we can see them and see what it looks like with different pattern papers and different stamps and all the different things. So, oh, thank you. I'm so glad you guys like them. Yay. All right. That is it for tonight. I will be back next week, Tuesday. Next week, Tuesday, we're going to do a simple sketch. It'll be Simple Sketch Tuesday. And it's going to be awesome. I made the cards and they're so cute. So cute. You're going to love them. So I will see you next week, Tuesday. Have a fabulous, fabulous rest of your week and weekend.